Guess what time it is?
It's time for small potatoes.
Where we give you a naughty tease of our latest Patreon episode.
Be sure to subscribe. Links are in the description.
But you know what? Geography has the same damn stigmas and assumptions with it too. Like,
yeah,
hilarious. And yet, I don't blame anyone. If I hear Amsterdam, I assume you're smoking weed. Like,
right.
What else do you do in Amsterdam? You go to the red light district and you smoke weed. Like, that's it, right? It's hilarious.
I think another good one to touch on is money, because I think there's a misconception that either you're top level high end escort or a fly me to you type girl or a top OF creator that you're rolling in money, or on the opposite end of that spectrum, you're a street level worker turning tricks for $20. Like, it's one extreme or the other, and often I think that middle of the road is left out. And how many sex workers do sex work for work, and they simply live a middle class life and support their children and just the normalcy of sex work.
Literally, that money goes to groceries and electricity and like the most simple things. You're right. There's the assumption of either glam or like horror. Yeah. And yet I think it's become more common now that people are more like common knowledge about OnlyFans creators. They assume anyone with an OnlyFans account is rolling in money. And not only is that wrong, but we've done some research on this. And we know that the average OnlyFans creator makes less than $170 a month. And the top like 0.2% is made up of like 5 people. And they're the ones that pull in $6 million a month. You know what I mean? Like everyone else, there's a couple middle ground there, but like everyone else is in that lower bracket when it comes to online content. And I don't think people realize how full-time a job that is. Maybe I'm guessing a little bit here or just assuming a little too much. I don't want to overstep that one. But from what I see, street level work is kind of the only one that's not full-time, unless you choose to go out on the street every day. I don't think people realize, even for your average stripper nowadays, like there is such a pressure to be constantly available on social media and then be censored on social media all the time and have to reappear all the time. Like it's a constant cycle, and it's 10 times more of that pressure, I think, for indie workers and online creators, because you can make all the OnlyFans accounts in the world, but unless you're putting links out there and posting teasers and like attracting an audience, you make $170 a month. Like that's just the way it goes. And then comes in all the accounting and everything that comes with it, because it is also one of the few online sex work methods that you don't have a choice but to claim in your taxes, because the payouts are from a company, right? So it's very different from a stripper or an escort that chooses to report her earnings or some of her earnings or whatever she may dabble with. But then there's the booking, there's the customs, there's making sure all the payments went through. There's so much extra full-time non-sexy work that I don't think people look at your average OnlyFans girl that they come across on Instagram and go, man, you do 60 hours of work behind the scenes. You post 4 things a month that are actual content, and you're making $1,000. Like, I think the assumption is she's hot, she's rolling in it.
I think you're completely right. I think OnlyFans is the best example of that, because if you were to say, I'm one of the top earners, I think the assumption is you have the hottest photos, you do the most, you put up the most like raunchiest videos. And in reality, you're just the best at social media. You manage your media properly and you put in the hours.
Well, if mileage was the factor, like in terms of like how freaky you'll get, or like how rebellious or whatever, taboo and those kind of words, if that were the case, then the only top porn actresses would be the filthiest ones. Like in terms of filthy activities, right? It would be the bareback, cum in everything, eating shit, drinking pee. Like that would be the thing. Yeah. And that's not what makes a superstar porn star either, right? No. It's publicity. So it's the same thing, except big name porn star has a whole team. OnlyFans girl starting off with feet pics, it doesn't. So there's that. And yet there's still a bias between male and female creators as well, because I think male creators get away with so much more on social media platforms. It's easier for them to advertise their stuff, yet their customer market is very different. So like there's so many factors to weigh into that. And just our point is, don't assume sex workers are just rich, because they're not. They have a mortgage, they have bills, they have, you know, they got to pay for their kids' hockey and summer camp and like all the normal shit that everyone else has to pay for. And that's why we love a generous client, a repeat client, a client that brings coffee in the morning, that appreciates Christmas time, giving gift cards. Like it all just helps her life, which leaves more time for sexy stuff. And that is where you get like the best of the best. She's going to make you content, custom content, with 10 times more effort if you're that guy than if you're just some guy that constantly sends like, hey, in the DMs. That's all you do. Like, be proactive about it. You get the best out of your online creators that way. I would say the same for in-person sex work too, except most people don't assume the dominatrix does about 40 hours a week of desk work in addition to her couple shifts at the dungeon. Like it's just across the board, right?
Yeah.
Sigh. If only we were all just rolling in it, right?
I wish so that was the case. But I think the next point I have is it legal? And we've talked so much about this, but I think the misconception is it's legal in Amsterdam, it's legal in Nevada, but not understanding different provinces, different states, and what their laws are. Because in Toronto, in Canada, where we are, it is legal to do what we do, and we are licensed to do so. But I think everyone just assumes it's under the table and kind of grimy, and like there's a risk aspect to it.
Under the table is the perfect word for that, because that's exactly the assumption. This is my point about New York.
Right.
Nevada is the only place in America that sex work is legal. So anywhere else, I don't care if you're in a tiny town in Kentucky or in the middle of Manhattan, it's just as illegal. And yet the gray areas of massage work definitely, I think, get away with more. It would be very brazen to open an unlicensed strip club. You're building a whole building. You've got this whole nightclub. You've got all these poles everywhere, all these strippers. That's hard to do under the table or like under the radar kind of vibe. Yet if you're Phoebe, the masseuse who has a traveling carry-on table, who's to say what happens? And there are some moments in Friends where she crosses the line too, and she gets fired and gets in trouble. She has some hot clients. She bites one of her clients on the booty because she just can't stop herself. He's so cute. She bends down and goes right on his butt and then gets fired. It's so funny. But if you're not working in a spa and you're out and about with your table, what's a hand job? In Ontario, a hand job was deemed not a sexual service. So there's that. Like, it's so funny, the legal gray areas. And I think it goes back to some of the terminology. You assume an RMT is legal and licensed. How many people actually check for that, right? You can assume that the lady in the lab coat, the Asian lady's all like, oh, but on the side we can do this and this. I think as a customer, you assume she knows what to do if police show up, or like how to camouflage that and how to talk about it. Back in my day when I was a worker in holistic parlors, you had to have lingo because cops would come undercover to check. And so you'd have to be like, when he's like, so what else do you do? You'd have to be like, well, what do you want? He's like, well, what's on your menu? And you'd be like, well, what are you looking for? Like, we would know not to say the thing so as not to get in trouble for the thing. And yet when a customer is a regular customer and he's like, how much for this? And you're like, I can't say a price. It makes things very awkward for your negotiation. I'm positive that although I was really good at picking out cops, I'm positive I turned away a few regular clients thinking they were a cop. Just based on nervousness. Yeah, the new guy maybe not knowing the lingo. And I'm like, you're fishy. And all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not getting in trouble. But in a holistic place, we misuse the law completely. Like, your hot stone massage is not meant for that.
Well, that's what I was just going to say is you probably like misidentified the customer for a cop because he is acting weird because he's like, why is this woman rubbing stones all over me? Like, where am I? So, of course, he's caught off guard.
Hot stones and word games. Yeah. so funny. It's weird how all these things kind of intertwine, too, because the right circumstances and the wrong lingo, what a mess.